All right, good evening, producers. Welcome to Whiteboard Wednesday. I hope you had a wonderful Wednesday and a great week. We've been talking about referrals all week, and I've been asking every day, how many referrals did you get? So hopefully that you are working on that. That's not going to be any different tonight. We are going to ask you in the challenge, how many referrals did you get this week? Are you asking it? Are you doing the challenge? But tonight's graph is about time. This is a conversation that can be used a lot of different ways, but this is probably going to touch a lot of us really hard tonight when we look at this. So I want you to think about this graph of time. If you live on this earth for 90 years, then you may be blessed with 32,850 days. 32,850 days on this earth to figure out what you're going to do, which typically happens for your training in the first 22 years of life. That's when you're learning how to deal with other people. That's where you're learning how to build relationships. That's how you're learning about all the reading and the math and the writing, and arithmetic, right? 3 R's. And the training that we get here is supposed to prepare you for the job that you get at 22 after you're out of college, if you go to college, for the rest of your working life. So you have 8,030 days to figure out those first 22 years of life, what you might do for a living. But most people really don't know at that age. Most people really don't know until they're closer to 30. By that time, you have 11,000 days that you have used. It's actually 10,950 days that you've gone to try to figure out how to earn a living, where you have figured out, hopefully, how you're going to spend your working days to prepare for your family. Now, the dilemma that we have is when we start in these days, we're not making a lot of money, but we're preparing to take a family all the way to the day of retirement. The problem with most planning is it stops right there at age 65. Most people aren't planning for those last 9,125 days of life on how they're going to enjoy it, who they're going to enjoy it with, what shape they're going to be in physically to be able to enjoy that life. If we don't take care of ourselves here, because most people from the age of about 18 to about 25, through their 30s, through their 20s, most people waste their 20s. I'm finding myself, I'm exploring and partying, all the things that most people do, and they start a bit behind. It's unique when you find somebody who starts young to be productive and thinking ahead. One of the advantages that we have in the life insurance business is that we're buying our net worth into the future in case we don't get afforded these days to live into the future to be productive. Now, of all of these 32,850 days, we're not going to work all those days. You've got holidays, you've got time you're going to take off, you got sick days, you got weekends, you got times that you were laid off and you're trying to figure out what to do, and you didn't produce an income. These days of working are the days where we're trying to create an income that will build assets that will pay us those last 9,125 days of life. The problem is most people get so focused on the work to get here that they don't live the life that they should have lived right here. They get really focused on work, and raising a family. And if they're not productive, then a lot of these families break up right in here. The days of years 40 to 45, I call the whiplash years. Those are the days we're looking behind us. What have we done? What have we accomplished? Where are we? We're looking ahead. And what do we have left to do? What must we get done? We got to plan for retirement. We got to plan for education for our kids. Maybe take care of our own parents or in-laws. And all of that may be happening in these days, all at the same time. It's imperative that we get the most out of each day, both from a production standpoint and from a life standpoint. When you get it down to these last 9,125 days, what most people do is they start to live between 65 and 71 because they're still using some of their saved money, maybe kick in Social Security, and they haven't started withdrawing from their retirement accounts yet. They want to put that off as long as possible. Most people. Typical planning. And then they, from 71 to 90, only take what they need. So they worked all these years, deferred the enjoyment they could have had on the money that they kept, they saved, they grew with the strategies that we teach so that they can live comfortably in these last years. But what happens is we have the we have the go-go years where we're retired, we're going to take off, now we're going to live life, we're going to go travel, we're going to take care of kids and grandkids, we're going to do the things that we always wanted to do. And then we have the slow-go years, about the time our money kicks in. The ability to go, the ability to run, the ability to go do all the things we want, starts slowing down. Physical ability. And then we have the no-go years. That's where we can't go anywhere physically. And people may come see us. We may have to have some assisted living. If we have 32,850 days, and you're in this range, I'm right here, I'm in my 50s. Well beyond halfway. What are we going to do to make sure those days are great? What are we going to do to guarantee our family the resources that will allow us to live now on what we have accumulated and not have to sacrifice and still take care of others? Not have to be penny pinching, but to live the life that we were meant to live. What are we going to do to bring certainty to the days? Now that's if you're blessed to live 90 years. And that's a 90 years of being healthy. Not everyone is healthy until their last day. So if the intent is to live here, what if our planning started at 90 and looked backwards? Would you take better care of yourself? Would you be healthier? Would you be exercising? Would you try to do all you can to make sure that the body that you have will last and be comfortable for as long as it possibly can? Would you be taking care of your money differently now so that your money can take care of you later? Would you be taking more risk on this money and trying to catch up with the risk of losing it and the risk of higher taxation? Or would you be in a place of certainty that allows you to take control of the decisions that you have to make and want to make, instead of being pressured by the changes that are inevitable in life? You know, we're told that money is not math, that it's a lot more like science, that our money and its ability to last is based upon how we care for it along the way, how we treat it, how we grow it, how we share it. It's more of a commodity than it is math. So how are you caring for your money? How are you caring for your assets? How are you caring for yourself? Your best asset, the temple that you have, the mind that you have, the relationships that you have. Your days are numbered. And the further we are down this map, the shorter these days are. Shorter the number of days. So you want to be in a place where you make sure you can get the most out of every day. Enjoy every day. Enjoy every minute of every day that you can intentionally. Don't leave those days to chance. Have a plan, have a strategy. Know who you want to spend these days with, why it's important, and how you want to spend those days. What state of mind and physicality do you want to have when you get here. You can't just show up and then hope to change things, because you got 40 years of work, 40 years of habits that you're building, living, that are going to dramatically impact the outcome of these days. If this is your target, let's live the life today that guarantees us to here, and then let's make sure we make some decisions that guarantees us a life after this, the life that you want, the eternal life. We can talk about that too if you like. Hope you have a great evening. Think about these days, the power of the day, the power of protecting your family when your days are numbered, when they're shortened, when they're interrupted. It'll happen. Be prepared. Let's go help them do it. I hope you have a great night. That's your Whiteboard Wednesday story. Go put it to use.